How you gonna change the things around you? Oh, what you gonna love inside of you? Oh, when you gonna hear his revelation? Oh, let it move inside of you.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. This
Hello,
is
hello,
Michelle
hello.
Diamond, and of course, we have the fabulous Linda Boston and
Yes.
the absolutely incredible Miss Satori Shakoor with us this evening on Infinite Perspectives, delving in deeper into this amazing film, Confessions of a Menopausal Femme Fatale. And I cannot wait to hear all about it, share her experiences with you guys. So let's jump right on in. Satori, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience and just give them a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do?
Okay, well, first, I'd like to thank you for the awesome honor and pleasure it is to be on your show, Michelle and Linda. Infinite Perspectives. Uh,
Yes.
I love the title because there are infinite perspectives, and for you to highlight our different perspectives shows how wise we can be collectively.
Yes.
Uh, so, to your audience, who I thank you for being there and listening, my name is Satori Shakoor. I'm originally from, and I live here still, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I have lived in New York and back to Detroit. I am a storyteller, writer, social entrepreneur, and now I'm a filmmaker. And I coach storytelling and I facilitate workshops and also founded the Secret Society of Twisted Storytellers here in Detroit to give other people a chance to be fully self-expressed, tell their stories, and give their wisdom and their little packaged gifts of experience to our listening audiences. This is our 13th year, moving
Yes.
into a 14th year, and
Yes.
we have discovered that there's a need. Human beings, our story. That's what we do. That's how we process our experiences, make
Yes.
meaning of our lives.
Yes.
Yes.
Storytelling is a craft, it's an art, and it's a science. And if
Yes.
we learn how to tell them, which is what I'm committed to doing, uh, then we can incorporate all three of those things, at least the craft and the science. I think human beings can connect, heal, and transform, which is our mission.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations on 13 years.
Yes.
13
I
is a
think we're 3 days short, right?
three
July
days
19th will be the
Yes,
anniversary.
official.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes.
excited about that. Ah, love
Ex-
it.
Excellent. When I hear you talk about stories and the importance of stories,
Mm,
it is essential that we have to tell these stories because now there's this thing called critical race theory that's trying to
mhm.
remove the story and the depth and the grace of the story. We've been telling stories since pyramid walls, right?
Mm. Yes, absolutely.
So so now I want to know from you. I don't want to ask you what your favorite stories are, but what stories do you find are most captivating and most important for society and cultures to maintain? We've got all kinds of stories, right? From various subject matter to genre, whatever. But what do you, in this process of 13 years of building a grand institution, what do you find being one of the greatest things?
Well, I find the greatest stories and the most compelling stories are the ones that people know how to tell, which means that, because I come from Alabama, Mississippi, South, Jim Crow.
Yeah,
Maybe
tell it
they may have only made it to the 9th grade.
That's
But
right.
honey, when they told a story, it was like a movie in your mind.
On a whole journey.
Yeah, it's interactive. And then not only that, they had sound effects. Woo, girl.
Absolutely.
Nah. And it's like, yeah, what? They could make going to the corner store sound like Lord of the Rings.
I know.
Yeah.
You were not disappointed. But the stories that I have most loved at the Secret Society's Twisted Storytellers and beyond are the ones where people actually go through a life transformation. We had one gentleman on our show, Daryl Siggers, who was falsely accused of a crime, spent 36 years in prison, gave up hope on himself, but from University of Michigan law students didn't. They got him out of jail on ballistics, and he came to our platform, told that story, and he had no malice. Now he goes around the country educating men about the law and their rights.
Wow.
Another woman who committed murder got away with it, but her conscience bothered her so much, she turned herself in, but she didn't realize the judge was going to say 35 years. She calculated it and she fainted. But she went into prison and made a difference with the female inmate and came out and is making a difference out here as well.
Yes. Commendable.
I love stories of redemption. I love stories where people were on their knees and then was lifted up, and now they can share that. I love the stories where you hear the stories from the stage, but what you don't hear are the stories that after they tell their stories, the mentorships that were formed, the difference that people make with each other afterwards, the authors who have services to provide to the community. But in a general sense, the stories that I love the most are the most transparent, the most honest, the ones that you are in awe that they could be that open. And what it does is free you to get rid of hiding your own self and realize if that person can love, accept, forgive themselves in front of an audience, I mean, and they've done all these things.
Yes.
What am I hiding from? I'm a human being.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. And, I love that you shared that with us, because transparency in today's world is something that we don't see very often, right? A lot of people hide behind social media and hide who they truly are. And when we talk about full transparency, that's getting into the nitty-gritty, the inner core of someone. And we see a lot of people talking about finding the same like mindsets, through the pandemic. I would say that's when the whole new uproar came about, like mindsets and finding like energy and making sure that we're all on the same level and wavelength and so forth. And with that being said, I want to jump right in with your transparency into your film that you shared with us. And I would like to take a moment and share that clip with our audience, and then we could delve right in if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sex is getting predictable anyway. Always ending in a big, fat, sloppy sneeze. Then what? Next thing I know, I'm cooking, cleaning, babysitting 4 of his kids from 2 previous marriages, shopping with the other baby mamas at the food co-op. Talking about he wants 12 kids. He's like, well, I'm thinking about getting a couple more wives. I'm like, I'm the one that need a couple more wives. Woo! Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? You leave him with your mother, my mother. You barely touch your own son. The doctor on the panel says that postpartum depression could be treated. I'm one of the brides of Funkenstein. I sang with Parliament Funkadelic. I was there.
Wow.
First of all, who's your stylist? Because I need all them clothes you be wearing.
Lenore Holloway.
So funny. But I absolutely enjoyed the film. You know, you talked about so many different levels of constructs throughout, right? We are talking about menopause, you hit on postpartum, you even hinted about relationships, and not only relationship with your significant other, relationship with your child, relationship with your mother, and relationship with self. So this film, I encourage you guys to go out and
Please.
we'll put it again where you could find confession on all platforms, okay? Because it will definitely touch on so many heartstrings, and I can't even elaborate anymore. You have to watch this film.
You know, one of the things that as I watched it, one of the things that came to mind is how similar postpartum is to menopause.
Menopause, yes.
They're not the same, but the intensity and how it grapples with your being are very similar. Would you say the same?
What I would say is that from the moment that young girls get their periods, it attaches itself to shame. And so we hide our natural progression, our natural growth and natural body function. And we don't talk about it. We hide it. We're shamed around it. When we have children, and sometimes we have postpartum depression, which is psychosis, we don't talk about it because we're burdened with the societal expectation that we're perfect mothers, that we come with a gene called nurturing. And when this postpartum hits and we're not that mother, there is shame, embarrassment. Somehow we're monsters. And the other women around us who are also hiding seem like they're they have it together. So as I began to move through the writing process and research, I began to see this film is bigger than menopause. It's really about tackling taboo, stigma. It's about freeing ourselves from the patriarchal lens, which harms women, men, society, and everybody else. Because just as limiting as that lens is for women, it's as limiting for men. I began to train storytellers who were going through maternal mortality due to implicit bias in medical circles, and began to tell the stories and their babies' fathers or husbands, and they began to talk about their postpartum. And I went, oh my God, I need to include this in my film because I'm looking at what makes postpartum and menopause and periods and aging and all these things around women. We don't want to talk about it because we're socialized to perform to the male lens, which means that once we are not perky, not juicy,
right,
have childbearing, we are sidelined and irrelevant. And
Yes.
I thought, how could that be? You've lived 40 years, 50 years, and all of a sudden that wisdom, all of that experience, perfecting your craft, becoming successful, all of that is now relegated to the sideline because I'm not, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not comfortable with you.
We're live. We can get it out.
And I'm
Don't.
like, you
It's
take a blue pill, and no. So I began to see the cracks in physics. And when I was turning 45, I was asking around because the symptoms were overwhelming. I had no idea what it was. So I started asking the older women because, of course, I had heard of the change. I was going to play menopause. But very few people know about menopause. Doctors only get 1 hour training. Women are getting diagnosed. There's no medical insurance for us to address these issues, which can be very severe. And so I wanted to create a film that got a conversation going. That was my goal in 2018, 2019. Then all of a sudden, the mainstream, the younger women like Holly Berry and Sherry Shepherd, the 50-year-olds, you know, mid 50s, they were like, oh no, you ain't gonna mess with my sex life. I demand to know why I'm dry.
Right.
What's going on here? And they had the money, and then Oprah, and then now my goal, that conversation, women are talking, and they're
Yes.
talking about pharmaceutical remedies and other remedies. We don't have the trained doctors now. I work with the Michigan Women's Commission, Governor Whitmer here in Michigan. She's doing this initiative called It's a Menopause, It's a Movement. And she's going all across the state of Michigan holding panels with doctors and psychologists and all different, my storytellers to educate women. Women come, they have questions. They are like, you can't get them out of the building because
and that's important.
It's very important, especially when the largest demographic in the United States are women in some stage of menopause. That's a lot of women who go underserved.
Very true.
Some women have to wait a whole year to see a qualified menopause doctor. And so now my film is not about pharmaceutical remedies. It's about the spiritual, the psychological, the freeing of, the psychological, the freeing of ourselves through this state of life and the embrace of full self-expression, and not to create ourselves, define ourselves, rather than continue to try to be 39.
Right. And that even transcends into it's so much a part of our whole being. We were talking about stories earlier, and we were talking about the story never ends until you leave this realm. So every aspect of your life is affected by this, right? We're talking about our sensuality.
Everyone that touches your life.
Right. Sensuality, sexuality, spirituality, physicality. The whole thing is all part of the package. And your film,
that infinite circle.
Yes, it's an infinite circle. This is apropos based on what we're doing right now. It's very important that, and you're covering all of that in your film, letting women know that it is okay. I don't care how wild it got through your lifetime. It can be dealt with. You address every aspect of your life, and you dealt with it, whether it was then or whether it's now, to show that you can cope, you can make it, you can tell your story.
Yeah.
Yes. And just to piggyback off of you, both of you pointed out about the spirituality, the physicality of everything. And in the film, you address it as the knowing, right? Coming into your knowing of finding yourself and freeing her, I believe is the phrase that you utilized. And I fell in love at that very moment because that hit, like I said, me right here. And it played on my heartstrings because it was relatable with my personal journey, what I'm going through right now. And not understanding, well, why am I feeling this way? The irritability and the frustration, and not understanding why 1 minute I'm like, okay, I love this person, but oh, I can't stand you right now. And you made it where I cried and laughed in the same breath because I was just like, oh my God, that's how I'm feeling. And, so many women need to see Confessions of a Menopausal Femme Fatale because it is absolutely important for them to realize that they're not alone. They're not alone on this journey.
In fact, that's what creates that sisterhood between women. I don't care what the race is, the culture is.
From the beginning, as she pointed out, because another point that I wanted to bring out in your film, and I'm going back to it without putting spoilers out there, just important pieces that people need to look for. When you actually talked about you going through puberty and your mom at the time being menopausal, how those two were so relatable. And they could actually identify with each other because you both were going through the change. You were coming into womanhood, and she's going through the next change of her life, of coming into herself, into her true womanhood of who she is. Because this experience that I'm experiencing, and from what I've researched, and even your film, and listening to Linda and other women, at this age, you think puberty was womanhood. No, this is womanhood, because you actually wake up and it's like your rebirth into this amazing goddess. You're like, wow, who is this woman am I looking at in the reflection here? So I just applaud you. Kudos to how you delivered. It was amazing. It was a masterpiece. Well done.
Thank you.
What were you going to say, Story?
I was going to say a lot of mother-daughter relationships clash at that point.
Yes.
And it sets the tone for decades.
Yes.
And so can you imagine that can you imagine that if the largest demographic is a woman in some stage of menopause, the community that's available out there? Also, if we could, break the chains of shame and taboo, and we could share our experiences and understand this stage, we could get support from our husbands, our sons, our family, our coworkers, our bosses. As a boss, you can have compassion for women, but we have hidden it. And so we have not been able to get the support from society. So many men have watched the film and with their wives and girlfriends, and have appreciated, oh, I understand her better. Oh my God, I had no idea. No, you didn't have any idea, because we were helping you have no idea.
Right. And if you remember, we shared the stage together with Menopause the Musical, the stage play. And I was in the middle of menopause while I was doing the show.
Wow.
And the interesting thing about it is postmenopausal, you can still have the symptoms postmenopausal.
Yes. You can have the symptoms. And Black women have the symptoms longer. And we have more severe because we have these fibroids. Studies aren't really done on us because of the fibroids and the hysterectomies and all that. So there's a lot to this. But if we could get the insurance, get doctors involved, and we are now, because look, Kamala Harris menopausal. Governor
Mm.
Whitmer, menopausal. Stacey Abrams, you name it,
Yes.
they're that.
Right,
Most
right.
powerful women in the United States. So we are now in positions to demand. We want health care. We
Yes.
want answers.
Mhm.
Can we do more recruiting of doc? I mean, come on. If the largest demographic need services,
Mhm.
why
Mhm.
would why why would you why wouldn't you make your specialty menopause? I mean,
Right, right.
because there's women been on waiting lists for a whole year to see a certified menopause doctor.
Mhm.
I mean,
So
Mhm.
true.
yeah, I mean, but they want to throw pharmaceuticals at us, and
Mhm.
that's all well and good. But if we could quiet the symptoms and heal the symptoms, then we can
Mm,
see the ocean parting and what
Mhm.
menopause is truly offering, which
Mhm.
is it's a disruptor to the dishonesty, to the phoniness, to the performing
Mhm.
for the people pleasing,
Mhm.
the because when you have made all these accomplishments and you got to tuck them in and go, oh no, no. If you got to be 39 for years, all of those accomplishments, you can't talk about them.
Mhm. Mhm.
right.
You can
Mhm.
always have to be calculating in
Right.
your mind
Exactly.
how to, and you're always thinking about how to get a man. Because when I was going through
Yeah.
45, 47, all the books were about the rules, catch them and keep them, men are from
Uh-huh.
New York, women are from all these books because, and you didn't know any better. So your next thing was to get married and have a retirement plan through your husband,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you were so I was not down with that. I wanted to march into freedom, which I
Yeah.
have.
Mm,
Full
Yeah.
self taking all of the skills and gifts and talents and
Mhm.
embrace them,
Mhm.
celebrate them, offer them, rather
Mhm.
than hide them and be modest about them and not share them and not create all of the wonderful things that we are here to create. We are women. We give
yes.
birth to ideas.
Yeah.
Not
It's interesting that you say that. I want to bounce back to your writing of that story or creating a secret society of twisted storytellers.
Yes.
I think it's important to be consciously creative. I think we need to be creators. We are creators because we were created. We need to embrace that within ourselves. And there are a lot of people that want to tell the story, but there's pushback from family about telling the story.
Mm,
How would you advise a new creator, a new writer, a person who wants to tell their story, wants to tell the family story, be the griot? How would you tell them to deal with that pushback?
mm,
well, I get that all the time.
Do
You
you?
know, oh yeah. Um, oh, I can't say that because some women are protecting
Mhm.
their uncles who diddled with them. Well, I can't.
yes.
My whose story is this? I never force anybody to tell
Yes.
a story. I say, well, you need to go. If I'm just if I you need to go get permission.
Promulgate.
Right, right.
I've had a Muslim woman on the show who told her story. I think she got about 10 kids. She was married to a high profile um, minister in the Islamic community. And
Mhm.
she told her story, and her daughters were angry, 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 angry. So she asked me would I, take her story down, which of course I did. And then 2 years later, she called me and said, "Can you put it back up?" I said,
Mhm.
oh, I said, well, how are your daughters? Oh, we have never been closer. Now they understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
Everything's all good. And I love to tell another story. I said,
Mhm.
you better go get permission.
Yeah.
Because I never force anything,
Yeah.
but I realize that some people aren't free enough. And
Mhm.
I'm here to coach you to tell your story.
And to be
Yeah.
free.
To be
Yeah.
free of it. Because you're not telling on anyone.
Yes.
You know, they're free to come up here and tell their version. But my
Mhm.
sister and I are only 18 months apart. And I'll tell her something. Our mother said, no, she didn't. She
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
you were 18 months younger. You don't and even if we were twins, we listen differently. Our
Very true.
you know, so everyone's story is very unique. What we draw from stories is very
Yes.
unique. What you think you're imparting, somebody
Mhm.
might get something else. I've had
Mhm.
black men who called me up and said, uh, a trans woman told her story, and they called me up to say, I had never been that close to a trans woman. I said, you just did know.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
they
You
would
just
say,
know.
I never thought I could relate, but when she started talking about getting stopped by police and pulled out of the car, I was like, she was telling my story.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So it's not the person, it's the humanity of the person
Yes.
that we're trying to connect.
And if you don't tell your story and you let someone else tell it, it's their story, not yours.
And you're an extra.
Right. We have
And yet,
every right to tell the story.
right, right. That's why I'm committed to teaching people the craft so that
Mhm.
they can really get out here and tell their own stories, because somebody certainly will. Like you're saying, they're erasing
Mhm.
our stories from, but they can't
They
because
can't.
they can't because our stories have been passed from knee to knee to knee to
Need
knee,
to.
from generation to generation to generation. We have YouTube now.
Mhm.
Yes.
We're interested in our genealogies now. Uh, we can, I mean, there are so many ways to preserve story. You can't really kill them,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and there's so many conflicting stories. You know what I
Mhm.
Very
mean? Like some of the stories that they tried to collect from you know, before Reconstruction to find
Mhm. Mhm.
out, how do you feel now that you're unenslaved? If a white
true.
person asks them, they tell them a whole nother story. If
Yeah.
Zora Neale Hurston asks, girl, so it depends on
Yes.
who you're telling the story to, what you want to say, what you don't want to say,
Exactly.
and then that story gets documented, you know. So I think it's important to put all the stories out there.
So do
And
you ever deal with writer's block?
hmm,
Do you ever deal with writer's block?
I don't think of myself as like that. Like I
Okay.
got a book I got to get out.
All right.
I My stories come from my living life, so I don't feel blocked as a liver as a
Mhm.
living. So
Being.
right, and I'm always learning. I'm always
Mm.
having breakthroughs and
Yes.
Yes.
experiences that, as a storyteller and as a conscious person who's seeking truth, to be
Yes.
able to see deep into the experience,
Mhm.
find the metaphors, find the breakthroughs, find the things that help me so that I
Mhm.
can put them out there.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
There were
Mhm.
stories,
That's
confessions that I had not told for years. I couldn't tell it.
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah.
And then I
That's why
realized
people have to
I
see
have
it.
to
They have
tell
to.
it.
that
Mhm.
you had to absolutely get it out. Yes, and I'm glad that you did because, like I said, so many amazing points throughout the entire film. So you guys make sure you watch it, and we're going to share again where you can tap in.
Yes.
Please leave a
You
review
have to. It's
on Rotten Tomatoes.
it's actually unlike. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Please
ahead.
leave a review on
Say
Rotten
what you.
Tomatoes.
Oh yes, we are.
Oh,
we
yes,
put it out there for all of our viewers to leave the reviews.
Yeah.
We have you covered there because definitely great feedbacks, and people are going to definitely let you know that it resonated. Circling back a bit to when Linda brought up and you talked about, coming from an authentic place and consciousness and dealing with you said that you don't really have writer's block because you're telling your story, or it's an experience, for better terms. We read about your experience with taking Secret Society of Twisted Storytellers to the Netherlands, and you had the opportunity to show it there, and actually it was workshops and dealing with what they were facing at the time, and I believe it was racism. How did that experience map out?
Oh, it was an extraordinary experience. I was dealing with Syrian refugees, Somali, and their struggles there, and how hard it was to. They gave them a place to be for a few months, and then there was lack of support. One of the women one Syrian woman who escaped, her best friend was killed in front of her, and she got to be in the Netherlands, and we kept in touch for a while, and she finally got her papers. A very beautiful poet. We did the story. It was 4 storytelling events that they produced. The European version of Secret Society. Peacekeeper for the United Nations invited me to be there, and and there was everybody is real tall and blonde, and this woman came up to me with her dog, her big dog, and she says, "So, are you trying to change the world?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Yes, I'll be back." We did the storytelling inside of a active windmill. They have events there. They have a bar. They cut wood in there. They have a little farm. It was absolutely, everybody rides bikes. It's amazing. But it's very racist there. They had the little, it was around Christmas time, and they had they hang on to that,
So do you see yourself going back there
that's what I was.
I'm
with
happy.
the actual workshop?
Oh, I'm happy to go back there and visit them. But no, I mean, if they facilitated like before. But what I want to do is move forward with this film and perhaps doing a documentary of Twisted Storytellers.
That's amazing. I would definitely look forward to it.
Yeah. In fact, you've had some powerful people there, George Clinton, Dick Gregory, and the magnificence of having
George Faison, the choreographer for
George
The Wiz.
The list goes on and on. And these stories from the lives of these magnificent people are never told in certain interviews.
No.
The freedom of storytelling and the platform that you provide makes it easy for people to be able, or feel safe to be there. I commend you on it. I remember you talking backstage about some plans along these lines back in the day, and if you don't,
it was great.
You did a manifester, a miracle manifester, my sister.
And we also have musical guests and
Mhm.
dance performances,
Yeah.
because that's,
Yeah.
and we have a digital art show, because all of
Mhm.
those are forms of storytelling. And I just want to say to your audience that storytelling is the most effective delivery system of information and ideas. And the
Mhm.
reason that I can say that with confidence is because I know you both are sitting here and can remember stories from your childhood.
Right.
Yes.
Now,
How?
how powerful is that, that you can carry forth a memory?
Yes. Lasting a lifetime. How do people apply to be a storyteller on Twisted Sisters?
They can go to twistedtellers.org, click contact, and there's a drop down and it says tell us your story. So you can submit your story in 150-word synopsis. Now, people have to be local. When
Mhm.
there was the pandemic, we had more flexibility and global
Oh,
curation, but
right.
Zoom is great, but it's not like live.
No, it's not.
Correct.
I mean,
So I
Zoom.
have a question on that. Um, I'm sorry. I do have a question on that. You said that it was during the pandemic. Yes, I could see there was more leverage there to do it, you know, remotely, but face to face is total difference. So are you thinking in the terms of maybe expanding to
Expanding. How
other
about
I'm
cities?
happy, I'm happy to expand. And matter of fact, I'm looking to have the live event someone else take it over. I
Mm,
just need people who can coach storytellers
Mhm.
on how to tell their story.
Yes.
wow.
You know, and I'm looking at different possibilities. Maybe just have one show per year and have a
Atlanta.
big name. Hmm?
I said Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia.
No, no
Yeah,
problem.
we're reeling you in.
Yeah, let's manifest that too. Why not?
Yeah, I'm totally ready um, uh, to move into the next realm of what's up for me
Yes.
and
Yes.
deliver this uh, deliver this to those who would embrace it, respect it, love it, be mission driven around it.
Mhm. What
Yeah.
what what wisdom would you impart to an artist coming behind you? What I know the importance of telling a story.
Mhm.
That would be part of it, but is there anything in particular that you would really want up and coming artists to know?
If you have a compelling vision, a delicious idea, and it will not
Mm,
let you go, then you have to go forward with it. You can't worry about, I don't have the money.
mhm,
You can't worry about the order of things. If
mhm.
you don't have the money, you start in another space or you figure out how to generate the money.
Exactly.
Um, if you don't, like, I knew nothing about anything that I was doing, and I learned as an artist, it ain't my business how. It's to mother it into
Right,
existence and,
right.
and so you put yourself in, okay, I want to make a film. Well, you
Yeah.
don't know no distributors. How you going? You don't know the directors. You don't know no film
Yeah,
studios.
yeah,
Then you start to find out,
right.
and you
Yeah.
start to make mistakes, and you start to spend money you don't have, and you have to say, well, this is if I went to Columbia, I'd spend way more than this.
Mhm.
Very
And
true.
the right people always come at the end, because it's like I don't know whether there was a book called Creating. It's by Robert, can't remember his name, but he actually explains and break down the steps of creating from the time you have the concept to that time where it seems like nothing's happening, where everything is kind of like coming together, but that initial excitement ain't there. And then
Right.
a place where you want to give up maybe, and then nope, but you keep holding like a rubber band. You keep nope, can't stop here because this ain't what I envisioned. Oop, but
Yeah.
can't stop here. So you keep pulling that rubber band back, back, back until at some point it's stretched so tight, propels you right into what it
Where,
was. And then
right.
you wonder, how, and also have a deep sense of spirituality.
Yes.
And I do believe that this is a manifesting medium.
Mm-hmm.
If you can envision it and you can hold that vision and you stay committed and you're not going to give up, it ain't going to give up on you.
It won't give up on you. Absolutely. I think we could say that about all of our careers,
Yeah.
especially when your family wanted you to have a regular job and you chose this industry.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
to follow up with that question, then, if there was anything you could change about the industry, the creative,
About
the
the
arts industry, what would you change?
Yeah. The
about the
industry.
industry, I think the industry is changing. It has been forced to change
Mm.
because we've come into this digital technological age where people are able to make their own movies, able to
Mhm.
promote their own movies. Um, they're able to make deals that weren't possible before. They're not limited by race. They're only limited by themselves.
Mhm.
And so the industry is definitely changing. A lot of the
Yes.
movies have moved to TV and streaming. Uh, we can see an
Absolutely.
example of Ryan Coogler,
Mm,
Sinners, how he
Tell
didn't
it.
change the game.
Tell it. Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
we
I
just have
agree.
to follow those leads and
Mm.
understand that the only reason the industry maintained itself as it did is because we had the mindset.
Mhm.
Yes.
When I was
Mm.
coming up as a musician, I believed, my husband believed, we had a band that we couldn't really go out and get a record deal. We had to have a white face, even though she was a court stenographer. No, nothing in the music. She was the one that could get the deal because she was white. And that may have
Right.
been true, but it was only true because we helped it be true.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. Very
And
true.
when you mention Sinners, that story is based on storytelling in his family.
Correct.
You see how it comes full circle?
Hmm.
Our listeners have to know that they have it inside. We have to
Everything.
tell it. We
Yeah.
just need to tell it. Yeah.
Yeah, because his I think he said his uncle loved the blues. The blues are
Yes.
Yes.
a story.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Blues are
Yes.
a
Definitely
story.
did. They are all
And
stories.
because he uh because he loved his uncle and
Uh-huh.
remembered his uncle's love for the blues, it
Mhm.
inspired this whole uh, movie that has taken everybody by. I
By
saw
story.
it twice, and I think something
You got
wrong
to
with
see it one more
you.
time. I got to see it again.
Well,
Likewise.
there's so much.
Yes, it's a lot. You know, you watch it the first time and you miss something, and the same is true for your film. You
Mhm.
know, watched it the first time, I'm like, wait, and then
Gotta
went
see
back and rewatched. I was like, I missed that part, especially when she was talking about phallocentric. You know, and
Yeah.
Linda and I talked about it, and I
Yeah.
think we both came up with. You know, and Linda said, "Ooh, I would like to pose that question, so I'm just gonna pose it here."
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people would like to know about that is, you know, talking about phallocentric in the film, would you say it is just as important to give both
Yeah.
phallocentric and
Me too.
gynocentric ideas equal weight and importance as we mature?
Um, yes, but the centric part, the centering of is the thing that I think doesn't need to be there.
Mhm.
what's at the center, really? Because phallocentric means that the penis is at the center. And
correct.
so then your position of someone without a penis is to serve the penis. So where's, the joy, I mean, I was in my 30s before I realized I could even ask for pleasure.
Right.
And then when I asked for it, I had an inner timer. It was like, okay, that's enough. It's my turn. I got to go back to what I didn't even know how to receive it. So I got a lot of stories.
And no, but this is so important. Like, and this is why I love this. These conversations are absolutely necessary. And again, we go back to storytelling because so many women are in relationships and men as well. Let's not leave our men out. And they're like, wait a minute. This is not what I expected, or you're in a relationship and you're just like, oh, this is what this is about. This is all I'm, and like you said, a big fat sloppy sneeze, you're just like, really, that's it? What about me? And then you're a lot of people are not verbal, and they don't know how to verbalize certain things. And they're like, okay, let me vocalize this way. Am I supposed to, the oohs, the ahs, is that going to, give me pleasure? Is that something that's going to stimulate that person more? Am I supposed to ask? Well, no, I don't like it this way. And a lot of people really don't understand. You are supposed to coach each other because that's the only way you learn how to pleasure each other, because you're learning each other's body. You don't know exactly what it is that my body needs, and I don't know exactly what it is your body needs. It's an experience. It's a spiritual journey together. We're intertwining. And if that connection isn't there, it goes.
And that's how faking it came into being.
Yeah. Well, I had to free my training, because I remember my mother saying, let the little boys win sometime. Let the little boys call. And I'm like, why would I sit up here and wait for him to call me? Why would I let him win? I ain't trying to make him lose. I can run faster at this age. And how do I let them? So, but when I'm an artist, and I am very much a performance artist, where I have to, so I knew I needed to free my mind. So I went on this whole journey of gynocentric, which means that I actually explored being a femme fatale,
Yes,
a dominatrix, and just going
love
crazy.
it.
And
How many? Now that sounds like a plan.
that's another little.
A whole nother stuff. Stay tuned, part 2. Satori Shakoor, part 2.
He let it all out.
Yes, right. I love it. I mean, the film was so freeing. I'm just going to tell you that. And again, please watch the film. Leave the reviews, because it is something to behold. Okay, it's going to tap into everything that you have questions on. Like, oh, what? That's exactly it. So I'm giving you the go ahead. It's okay. Watch the film. Watch the film. Right. It's amazing. And, as we're winding down, we talked about the importance of this film. And then you mentioned something very important that I want to actually expound on a little bit. You said that you were looking to make this into a documentary. Why is this so important for you to get this story out? Yes.
Yeah, because I want to share. I think it would make a great documentary with all these different storytellers, the journey that we made to this point. It's compelling. And we have so much footage and so many, it's documentary thirsty
material.
And it endorses,
like you said, it's delicious.
Yeah, it endorses the importance of telling that story. Some of my good friends were on the show. Rick Ross sang. A lot of my friends were telling stories, and that's a powerful thing. In fact, you can go to your YouTube channel of Secret
Absolutely.
Society and see some of these stories. We'll put
Yes.
links on our Facebook, Infinite Perspectives Facebook page and Instagram page, LinkedIn, all of that, to share how to get on the show. Even the book that
Absolutely.
you said, creating, we'll put some of those things in there so that people can read those things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And see
And
those things.
as we're winding down, Satori, we just wanted to take this time to say it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. You are incredible. I
Yes.
love your energy. The aura you give off is just breathtaking. So I can't say anything else. And we just want to say truly kudos all the way across the board for what you have done in Confessions of a Menopausal Femme Fatale, because it's absolutely incredible. And just sharing your work with us, from the beginning to now and even beyond futuristically. So we have one final question for you. And if you had the opportunity to speak to the younger you, what words of wisdom would you impart on yourself?
Go for it. Don't let the fears of others, the advice of others cause you to reconsider or stop you or any of that. Give you reservation. Just go for it. We have one life to live, and so go for it. Live.
Live.
I mean,
yes.
do it. Like
Yes.
Do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it.
And
Do
we're
it till
going
you're
to
satisfied.
exactly. We're going to play the clip one more time so that those who joined in a little bit late can see where they too can tap in. So here we
Thank
go,
you
guys.
so much.
I wanted to just say before, I just want
Sure.
to thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm kind of emotional here
Yeah.
because I feel so honored.
Oh,
And
You
I
are
feel so blessed to meet you, Michelle, to connect with you so easily. I mean, and Linda, I've loved you.
I love you too, my sister. Let's cry together.
I know. I know.
We got to see each other. We got to see
I
each
know.
other. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
you came highly recommended. When Linda and I, this has been in the making, like, with your film, it said, something that tasted so delicious. You're just like, we have to birth it now. We have been sitting on this for such a long time, and we're just like, we had the opportunity to go live so many times, and we're like, no, not the time. And then we just chose July, and everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
We did not even realize that it was the anniversary of Secret Society of Twisted Storytellers. So how in sync is that?
Yeah.
We're just going to leave that there. This was just meant to be. You're a beautiful spirit.
Yes.
I love you, sister. I cannot wait to see what else is out there for us. Linda and I spoke so much on what we want to do with you and for you. And let's just go ahead, continue to support each other and uplift, educate, and bridge that gap.
That's
right. Let's talk.
Well, you're going to talk to me sooner than you probably want to.
No. I think tomorrow we talk.
Absolutely.
Let's watch that trailer.
Let's
watch that trailer.
Sex is getting predictable anyway. Always ending in a big, fat, sloppy sneeze. Then what? Next thing I know, I'm cooking, cleaning, babysitting 4 of his kids from 2 previous marriages, shopping with the other baby mamas at the food co-op. Talking about he wants 12 kids. He's like, well, I'm thinking about getting a couple more wives. I'm like, I'm the one that need a couple more wives. Woo! Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? You leave him with your mother, my mother. You barely touch your own son. The doctor on the panel says that postpartum depression could be treated. I'm one of the brides of Funkenstein. I sang with Parliament Funkadelic. I was there.
Wonderful.
So beautiful.
We love
So
you.
we love you. Yes,
Take
thank
care.
you again for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
All right.
All
Have a
right.
wonderful evening.
So, guys, we just wanted to close out and say once again, it was an absolute pleasure in having Satori on to share her amazing story with us. And we would like to leave you all with a quote. Remember, although we experience life and perceive things differently, our perspective is always limited by how much we know. However, when we expand our knowledge, we will transform our minds. Storytelling can take us on so many freeing journeys. So take heed to what our guest just stated and let that sit and resonate.
Just
And
do it.
yes, just do it in her words. And until next time, thank you for joining Infinite Perspectives. This is Michelle Diamond and
Linda Boston. See you soon.
How you gonna change the things around you? Oh, what you gonna love inside of you? Oh, when you gonna hear his revelation?